It's great to see you, Oliver. I'm telling you, man, silver and gold, right? I mean, we've been talking
Just,
about it for I don't know how many weeks, but the
yeah.
reality is that it's been hitting. It continues to hit. Yes, there's a pullback today in silver. I get it, but I think the reality is that when you look at this trade and you look at the demands for silver that you've got out there, um, it's absolutely amazing. And I don't know what level it will get to, but I can tell you that we continue to see incredible amounts of unusual options in there. And I'm not just talking volumes. And I heard you guys talking about some of the volumes that are trading in some of these various areas, specifically silver. I love seeing those volumes too, Oliver, but I want to know, are they buying or selling, right? I mean, that's what
Right.
really matters to me.
Which
And
is
I'm,
always tricky
yeah,
to
it's very
pinpoint.
tricky, but we think we've got some algorithms that help us out a lot there. And I can tell
Okay.
you that, shoot, when I look at the what's going on in both GLD and silver, it's been incredible. Now, silver obviously has all kinds of different uses that gold does not. But when you look at what's going on in the GLD, for instance, I mean, some of the size of these trades is absolutely extraordinary. And I know I've said this before to you. I know that I have. So I'm not trying to repeat what I've
Yeah, no,
said.
you've been on it. Last time we spoke, I mean, this was when it was like ripping, where a lot of people would look at that chart and they'd go, all right, now's the time to fade it. It's too hot.
Yeah.
You said follow the flows. You said stay long.
Yeah, they
Credit
keep
to Phil
on.
Strebel, who said triple digits too. I mean, our coverage has been pretty spot on here. And by the way, I
Yeah.
personally have kind of abstained from trying to pick a direction because I feel like it's just manic, the silver thing, but you nailed it.
Yeah. Well, the silver and the gold, the GLD thing, I just took a couple of notes down from just yesterday and today. So just this week, right? 34,000 September's, 11,000 April, 70,000 September 590s, 37,000 of the Marches, another 12,000 of the Septembers, another 6,000 of the Februarys. These are pretty good sized trades that are going out there, and that's in the GLD. And in the SLV, not all that different. We had 12,000 Marches, 9,000 Mays, 5,000 Decembers, another 6,000 of these Marches. And it just keeps coming. The flows keep coming into those names. And so, I'm one of those guys that I don't mind. At some point, you keep rolling, right? You roll to the next one and you roll to the next trade. You're going up and out. In other words, you're going higher on the strike and you're going out in time as you move along with these. At some point, Oliver, they're going to be wrong. But at this point in time, I like the looks of that chart. And when I look at the chart of GLD or I look at the chart of SLV, does it feel a little lofty? Absolutely. But the more I stare at what's going on with silver specifically for a moment, I just look at all the various uses that we talk about all the time, and it's in data centers, and it's the powering of AI, and the conductivity of what silver really is, and all these variables that make it that much more interesting, I think, than gold, because are we going to stop with solar? Probably not. I mean, these are very critical. There's medicine that's involved in these, phones that are involved with this whole thing. Obviously, the computers that you and I use, and day in and day out, all of that is just packed into what silver really is. And I'll tell you what, these demands, we talk about demands of AI, and we talk about a lot of these various companies that just keep getting bigger and bigger and spending more and more money on this whole thing. Well, the more money that they're spending tells me that they're getting more different things that actually require silver to be a part of them. So
Yeah.
because of that, I don't know when this slows down, but it hasn't slowed down yet. So it's been a pretty interesting run.
To the point of the tech connection, looking at Round Hill's chat ETF, which was range bound and popped today. MAGS, of course, the MAGS, which is on a multi-day run again, firming back up. And of course, SMH, king of the crop, putting in highs and has been for the better part of the last week. So the fact that this is connected to tech, I do believe there is part of that. However, Pete, I have to give also some, a hefty importance to the dollar here as well, because of course the kind of macro explanation that the gold bugs, Peter Schiff will give, and even some of the silver bulls will say this is all about a weaker dollar, and this is about a kind of macro shift. Now, I think it's split. I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's some tech demand. I think it's some dollar weakness. My question to you is, what do you think happens to silver and gold if dollar finds any degree of support? Is that a risk to this trade? Will the dollar give us the heads up to when the metals spree might be over?
I think that there would be, there definitely going to be a reaction to that, and I think that that's something that we have to all face. And as I said, at some point in time, this trade will stop being the great trade that it has been, and it's all about timing. Do I have the time zone of it? Absolutely not. I just keep on rolling along with it, and that's the discipline that I think that I learned standing on the trading floor that you're sitting on right now. Literally just standing there and having to be as disciplined as I possibly could to be because you have to want to still be a part of this thing as long as you can. And I think it's interesting to watch how this thing has been playing out. You know, December, really going back to December, that move from early December to where it is now for silver has been absolutely just mind-boggling, quite honestly, just how much has gone into that. But again, even if we talk about the dollar and the influence of that, I think that we still have to recognize that there is a huge demand still. And yes, there's certain dollar amounts and everything else that we could go into, but I think that the reality is that if you're powering AI and you need that silver, that's something that, you know, we talk about these needs all the time and the demands for different parts that they're going to have. I think that silver plays a huge part of this whole thing, and I think it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. Will it pull back? Probably, and it probably should, quite frankly. But the problem is, what is the timing of that pullback? And I don't think any of us have the foresight for that right now. So this is one of those where I'm just trying to do our very best to kind of ride along. And when we finally see some put buying, which we aren't seeing, but when we finally start to see some sort of a turn, then I think it's time to say, all right, there we go. This is the time. But for right now, we just see buying, call buying, looking for more upside all the time.